Pastor Dave Zacher for April the 16th, 2014. And my YouTube channel is HYUNGS, pronounced Hyungs. Now, to clear any confusion, because some people are under the impression that my last name is HYUNGS, pronounced Hyungs. My last name is Zacher. I want you to understand that I am a bold soldier bringing the truth in the army of Yahweh. The name Hyungs means a pre-arranged battle sequence to perfect battle technique. Here's the headline, and it comes from mainstream media news. Now that we got that out of the way, this comes from mainstream media news, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions as we read together this article. And I will provide you with the link to this article below in the Show More section, right above where you leave comments, and I hope you do leave comments. Here's the headline. Christian pastors warn blood moon is an omen of Armageddon and the second coming of Christ. Let's read together. Could a series of blood moon events be connected to Jesus' return? Some Christians think so, and I'm one of them. I think so. I believe so. In the wee hours of Tuesday, April 15th, morning, the moon slid into Earth's shadow, casting a reddish hue on the moon. There are about 2 lunar eclipses per year, according to NASA. 2 per year. According to NASA, are they total lunar eclipse where the moon is cast a reddish blood red hue? Let's continue on. I'm going to give you my thoughts as we go along. And I'll give you my thoughts as we go along. That's all I'm going to say. Because I speak what I feel. I speak and I want to bring the truth. But what's unusual this time around is that there will be 4 blood moons within 18 months. Astronomers call that a tetrad. And all of them occur during Jewish holidays. A string of books have been published surrounding the event, with authors referring to a Bible passage that refers to the moon turning into blood. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Joel 2:31 says. In the New Testament, Acts 2:20 echoes the same doom. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord. Because in Acts 2:20, of course it echoes the same doom, because Joel 2:31 is being recited. That's why. But we want to look at the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. A full lunar eclipse, what we refer to as a blood moon, is a natural phenomenon. It is not a moon that has turned to blood and dripping blood. That's where I want to interject my thoughts with you. I believe this is a sign, a warning for Israel and possibly the United States of America. But the full lunar eclipse, in my humble and honest opinion, for what it's worth, my 2 cents for what it's worth, this is not the blood moon that we hear about in the book of Revelation or the book of Joel 2. Let's continue on. Here we go. I'll give you my opinion. Recent books capitalizing on the event include Blood Moons, Decoding the Imminent Heavenly Signs by Washington State author Mark Blitz, Blood Moons Rising, Bible Prophecy, Israel and the Four Blood Moons by Oklahoma pastor Mark Hitchcock. And Four Blood Moons, Something is About to Change by Texas megachurch pastor John Hagee. Hagee's book is drawing the most attention with his book now number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list. In the advice how-to section and number 80 on USA Today's bestseller list, the book by the controversial 74-year-old founder of San Antonio's Cornerstone Church has also spent 152 days in Amazon's top 100 books. I want to touch on this, and I'm not singling out one person over the other. I'm not singling out Pastor John Hagee. When you are a minister of the gospel of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, a pastor, if you are selling a book and it's becoming number 1, where are the proceeds to this book going? Is it going back to the congregation, to where they share in the funds that are being made off of this book? Is it going to feed the poor, the less fortunate, the hungry? Is the pastor living above the congregation? Is the congregation in need? Are they having trouble paying their bills? Well, the pastor is living a lavish lifestyle. That's my only problem when you're selling merchandise in the house of God. Where are the funds going? Is it being distributed as we are told in the book of Acts how the church is to be run? Evenly back to the congregation and helping those in need that can't pay their bills, but are in need of medical care, that don't have insurance. Is it going to the poor, to the needy, to the hungry? That's my problem when it comes to pastors writing books. Or are they flying around the world? Are they driving? What kind of car are they driving? Do they have a limousine? Do they have a private jet? That's what bothers me. Okay, let's continue on. Got that off my mind and off my chest. In his book, Hagee says something will happen to the nation of Israel due to the tetrad. The 4 eclipses occur on April 15th and October 8th, 2014, and April 4th and September 28th of next year. The ones in April occur during Passover, and the ones in October occur during the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles. Jewish holy days revolve around a lunar calendar, with Passover beginning on the first full moon after the beginning of spring, and the Feast of Tabernacles occurring on the first full moon after the beginning of fall. Hagee writes that every time a tetrad occurs on Jewish feast days, something traumatic and world-changing happens to Israel. But where I'm finding a difference here is, going back to the Six-Day War and back to 1948, the modern state of Israel being born, and so on, these events that changed the course of history for Israel happened first. Then, following these events, came the full blood moon tetrads on the feast days. That's what's different this time around. Okay, let's continue on. Let me check my time. In 1942, the Jews were expelled from Spain, and Christopher Columbus discovered America, giving the Jews a place to go. In 1948, the modern state of Israel was born. And in 1967, Israel won the Six-Day War and recaptured Jerusalem. During the 300-year interval from 1600 to 1900, there were no tetrads at all. According to NASA eclipse expert Fred Espenak. Excuse me. This time, Hagee suggests that a rapture will occur where Christians will be taken to heaven. I hope so. I hope that this is what is different this time. I pray that this is what is different this time. Israel will go to war in a great battle called Armageddon, and Jesus will return to earth. Hagee planned a special televised event on Tuesday, April the 15th, on the Global Evangelism television channel. But NASA does not consider tetrads as especially rare, saying in a statement that there will be 8 sets of tetrads before the year 2100. On feast days? That's what I want to ask you, NASA. On holy feast days? The Passover? Tabernacles? The most unique thing about the upcoming tetrad is that they are visible from all parts of the United States, NASA stated. I want to keep your attention, so I don't want to make a long video, but a publicist for Hagee said the pastor was not available for an interview. When you see these things, the Bible says, lift up your head and rejoice. Your redemption draweth nigh. Hagee said in a sermon according to the San Antonio Express News, I believe that the heavens are God's billboard, and I agree. I do as well. But he has been sending signals to planet Earth, but we just have not been picking them up. Greg Boyd, a pastor of Woodland Hills Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, called the predictions a waste of time, maybe even bordering on astrology. I don't believe so. You have an entire population buying into this stuff, so no congregation is immune to this, Boyd said. It can strike fear into people, which is so unnecessary and wrong. I agree with that. We don't have a spirit of fear, Greg Boyd. It's not a spirit of fear. We're told to watch and be watchful of the signs. And once again, going back to Pastor Hagee and the other pastors that are writing books, I'm just curious. There's nothing wrong, I guess. It's just not what I do. But if you are going to profit from the book, are you sharing with the flock, with the congregation? Are you meeting their needs? Are you meeting the needs of the people? Or are you putting the money in your pocket? That's where I have a problem. There's a lot of pastors today. The church and the congregation are suffering. They're in need. They can't pay their bills. They can't get car repair done. They're losing their electricity. Their lights and gas are being turned off while the pastor's living a lavish lifestyle. I have a problem there with selling books. Let's continue on. The Jewish holy days carry less theological significance than Jesus' resurrection for many Christians, said Sam Storms, a pastor of Bridgeway Church in Oklahoma City. Any connection between the two events should carry less weight, he said. We need to stop giving into some of the sensationalist speculations, he said. Maybe Christians are more gullible. One has to twist the data to make it appear as if there are the fulfillment of some biblical prophecy. We got to do away with the sensationalism, the hype, and the selling of books and trinkets in the house of God, while the fellowship and the congregation suffer and live on fixed incomes. But I believe the blood moons are a sign. Something's different this time. They're not the sign spoken of in Joel 2 or the book of Revelation. The moon did not actually turn to blood, but it is a significant sign of something to come. This time different. There was no significant event in Israel's history this time. Could it be judgment on the United States of America, on mankind? Could it be a sign of the imminent rapture of the church? You had my thoughts. Leave me your thoughts and comments. God bless you.